Hello, class 5. We have already started the chapter Great Voyages of Discovery, and what we found is in the first video was that what were the main reasons for this Great Voyages of Discovery. Uh, and we found that there were several reasons which led to these great voyages of discovery. First being that trade was only carried out by the Arab traders. Means before these discoveries, the trade routes were discovered, or before the explorers undertook this great voyages of discovery, trade was mainly carried out by the Arab traders. Okay, and the Arab traders were a link between Europe and Asia, and there were certain goods which were in great demand in Europe, like silk, spices, textiles, indigo, coffee, tea, sugar. All these things were in great demand in Europe, which were produced in Asia. But when they reached Europe, and they, after passing through several hands, they became very expensive. Naturally, they started thinking whether if they could have a direct link, then the goods could be much cheaper. The next was the rise of Ottoman Empire, and with the rise of Ottoman Empire, all the overland trade routes were closed, and so Europeans could not trade with Asian countries, means the East, and this was a severe blow for the economy. So naturally, the European merchants and started thinking of finding a route, finding routes through sea, and also the European kings helped European sailors and merchants with men, ships, men, and money to discover new routes to expand trade. Not only trade, but their intention was also to build empires. Next, we have the accounts, rich accounts of travelers like Marco Polo, which tempted the Europeans to have a direct link between Europe and Asia. Another thing was Europeans started building bigger and better ships. So naturally, when ships are stronger, then they can go on long voyages, because the ship is strong enough to bear with all the weather conditions that is faced at sea. And also maps and charts, and not only maps and charts, but maps and charts showing everything in detail, that is the ports, the harbors, everything, the sea routes and harbors, everything was shown in detail, so that way the sailors would be much benefited. And two main things, that is the use of compass from the Arabs. So compass, as we know, to help helps to find the direction, and astrolabe to position. So with all these things, they were able to have successful voyages and travel to distant lands. So that was the part where we stopped in the previous class or video. Now coming on to, now we are going to read about the explorers, and the first explorer was Henry the Navigator, who is also known as the Prince Henry of Portugal. Now, what is said over here, that most of the early voyages were made by Portuguese and Spanish sailors. So the sailors were mainly either Portuguese or Spanish. Prince Henry of Portugal, known as Henry the Navigator, was convinced that ships could reach India by sailing around Africa. So, as you have the map in your on page, the next page, that is page 8, you can easily find out, and that that you have the Spain, and just that you have Portugal. So it's a very small country. So from there, he believed that if he started from there and from through the Mediterranean right down, okay, if he sailed right round Africa, then he could reach Asia. And ships could reach Asia by sailing around Africa. Between 1420 CE and 1460 CE, Prince Henry sent out ships to explore the northwest coast of Africa. So he did explore the northwest coast of Africa. Besides discovering new sea routes and lands, these voyages also expanded trade too. That is, he found out new lands, and it also helped in expanding trade. Now, this was for Henry the Navigator. And the next is Bartholomew Diaz. Bartholomew Diaz, he also followed the same route as Henry the Navigator. And he was also from Portugal. It was in the year 1487 CE that Portuguese sailor Bartholomew Diaz succeeded in reaching the southern tip of Africa. He had set out with 3 ships. The ships encountered very strong winds and currents. He followed the winds and currents and sailed right around the southern tip of Africa, which was named the Cape of Good Hope. Diaz had to return to Portugal because his sailors refused to go further as they were tired of the journey. So what happened was, Bartholomew Diaz also followed that same route, okay, as Henry the Navigator, but he set out with his ships, with 3 ships in the year 1487 CE. And he had to face strong winds and currents. So and what he did was, he just followed those winds and currents, and that helped him to sail right till the southern tip of Africa, which he named as Cape of Good Hope. But he could not proceed, means he could not go further than that, because his men, they were too tired and they wanted to return home. They did not want to proceed any further. While the Portuguese were busy finding a way to India by going around Africa, some Europeans believed that they could go westward and reach India and China. One such European was Christopher Columbus. Yes. When Henry the Navigator and Bartholomew Diaz felt that they could take that route by sailing around Africa, Christopher Columbus thought that he could sail, go right, sailing down till the tip of South America, and means he did not know that such countries exist. Means he wanted to sail the other way around, the Pacific, and reach India and China. We stop here today. We'll do the rest of it in the next class. Thank you.